So once again, hello everyone. And today we're going to talk about how to move past fear in recovery. And you may be wondering, fear of what? And that's going to be my first question. What are you fearful of? I know that some of you are fearful of gaining weight without seeing results. Many people are fearful of gaining weight full stop, or maybe of not getting the first period back, or the second, or the third, or maybe to get the period back, but not being able to have a child, which is the ultimate goal. So first of all, I would like to say, I would invite you to write down your fear, or you can also answer this question in your head for now. So what are you fearful of? And now let's play with the worst case scenario. What's going to happen if your fear comes alive? And what can you do then? And why is this question so very powerful? Because when you play with the worst case scenario, you start challenging your fear. We think that fear is our forever after. It's our worst case scenario, which is very likely to happen. But after we reach the fear, after we feel it, after it's almost palpable, then we can play with it and we can grow through it. So for example, let's say that you're fearful of gaining weight. Okay, what's going to happen if you do end up gaining the weight? What's going to happen then? You're going to hate yourself. All right. And what can you do after you start hating yourself? And most of all, how are you feeling now? How are you feeling now that you're controlling your food, you're overtraining, you're not sleeping well, you have no sex drive, you are very low in energy, and you're infertile? Are you loving yourself right now? So can you see that sometimes our worst case scenario is not even that scary, because our worst case scenario is based on our past experiences, because our brain cannot really create something that we have never experienced before. So whenever we look at the future and we are afraid of something, is because that's the fear that we have right now, that it's stuck somewhere in our body right now based on past experiences. So most times the worst case scenario is not even going to happen. And that's really important for you to know that and understand that, so that you can move through this process with ease, without really white-knuckling, without grinding your teeth, without creating too much stress around it. And right now, you may also be afraid of not fitting in, or not getting included. If I gain the weight, Claudia, people are not going to love me. I will have to let go of this identity. I won't like what I'm going to be. But at the same time, be aware that maybe your fear is of the exact opposite. Because your fear right now may be serving you like a crutch. In a world that teaches you how to play small, to be small, to not speak up, to not talk your truth, to be preoccupied with your body, to be preoccupied with the way that you look. What happens the day that you say, no more, I'm not going to buy into this bullshit ever again? And what's going to happen on that day that you let go of fear as a crutch and you start running in freedom? How scary, even though it's exciting, but being scared and being excited in the brain is actually perceived in pretty much the same way. But how scary does it feel to know that you're free to become whoever you want to be? Okay. And maybe you're not ready for that. And that's also why you decide to stay in fear, because the unknown is not known. And for people like you, for people like us that love to be in control, not knowing what's going to happen, it's even worse than knowing exactly what's going to happen, even though it's unpleasant. Maybe there is a part of you that wants to give recovery a chance and to get your period back naturally, because you want to become a mom. And then you're going to start playing the worst case scenario and think, what if I do gain the weight and I don't get a natural period and I do not get pregnant? I will hate myself then. I will hate my body and I will be so shit scared about my future. That's your worst case scenario, right? And what if all of that happens? What if you gain the weight, is not enough to get your period back naturally, and you don't get pregnant? Do you think that it's your forever and ever? No, that's just another step in your journey. So if you get to the worst case scenario, then what can you do? What's going to happen? How can you make it better? How can you improve upon it? We're so afraid of getting to a point where we cannot handle the situation. But challenges, grief sometimes, allow us to grow. And we need to grow in life, because we cannot be babies for the rest of our life. I'm going to talk about my personal story for a second. I was absolutely, shockingly afraid of gaining weight. It was my worst fear, my ultimate fear. I will, engage in behaviors multiple times a day. I will control the numbers just to make sure that my weight wouldn't shift. And I will go down like crazy rabbit holes just to keep myself in check. Worst case scenario was to gain weight and hating myself. And guess what happened? I gained the weight, then I lost it again. Not all of it, obviously, but I got sick, I lost a little bit. Then I gained some more. Then I got pregnant, I gained a lot more. Then I was in the postpartum phase. I lost a little bit, but I kept some extra. Then I got pregnant again. I lost some more in the beginning, then I gained a lot more. So can you see that? There is also flexibility in how our body moves through the weeks, months, and years. We're not meant to be the same. We're not meant to be in the same body as we were when we were teenagers. That's impossible, because if you find yourself being over the age of 20, 22, and being still in a teenager body, it means that you're suffering, that your body's suffering, that your body's under stress, that your bone density is decreasing, that you may be suffering from brain fog, low sex drive, disorder behaviors around food and training, infertility, hair loss, no periods, So we are meant to be flexible when it comes to our body through our life and through our recovery journey. And I had this wonderful woman, she started the period comeback protocol in March, and she told me, Claudia, the idea of giving up exercise and gaining the weight, that's my worst case scenario. We worked through all of that for 3 months. She got her first natural, abundant period back after 4 months. And then obviously the conversation came up, and I said, so how do you feel now that you're in this body? And her answer, she pondered upon it for like a split second, and then she said, I just love it. I just love it. So her worst case scenario quickly became the best case scenario. And even in my situation, my biggest fear was actually the best thing that could have happened to me. I also was very fearful of letting go of exercising. That's something that I wasn't prepared to do. And I took really the slow path in terms of decreasing the amount of exercise that I did, because I couldn't picture myself. I couldn't see myself not moving my body completely. And I never stopped moving completely. But guess what happened a few years down the track, after not taking care of my hormones, after not taking care of my health? I fractured a bone, a hip bone. And that really put a stop to my exercise routine very quickly. And for the first couple of days, I started thinking, how can I increase my exercise routine? I can do my crunches, I can do upper body, and so on and so forth. And then I thought, what am I talking about? I need to take care of this injury. That's my main focus right now. I need to get better. I need to give my body what it needs. So once again, my worst case scenario was a lesson in disguise, and I grew from it. And that's when things started to really shift and change for my relationship within my family realm, within my friends. I really connected with some friends that I hadn't seen for a long time. My business changed as well. I started talking to women in a more empathetic ways, in a way that possibly they could relate with me much more, because I had the brain capacity, I had the space to take on their stories, because I wasn't consumed with my story anymore. It was for someone else to listen to. Okay. So now I would like to go through a list of things that you can actually do when the worst case scenario is playing up in your mind, or when you have negative talks in terms of your body, or whenever you experience fear, any type of fear in life anyway, but especially related to recovery, your body, exercising, and undereating. So I'm going to bring up my notes, because I don't want to forget anything of what I want to share with you this morning. And I know that this list is definitely not comprehensive. It's just a starting point for so many of you, and we can just grow from here. And I'm not going to spend too much time on it as well, because I want to make sure that this live is within the 20 to 30 minutes long. So stick with me and just take as many notes as you would like, or you can simply pause, reflect on all the things that I'm about to say, and then once again, grow from there. So the first one is to set positive intention. So you're more than welcome to shift your focus from weight gain as a negative to a positive intention. Remind yourself that gaining weight is a step towards better health, better hormonal balance, and overall well-being. How powerful is that when we start looking at gaining weight under a positive lens? Wow, this is my body that is going to help me to feel better, to get my energy back. I think that that's absolutely super powerful. The second invitation is to focus on health, not on appearance. If you can, just play with this concept, but see if you can shift your mindset from appearance to health. Concentrate on the positive impacts of regaining your menstrual cycle, having better energy, improving your health, improving your bone density, your sex drive, and also shift your focus to achievements that have nothing to do with your weight or with your body. You can also celebrate accomplishments in fitness, in mental health, and personal growth. And that does not mean that you need to have straight A's, but it could simply mean that you're capable of spending a night being social, listening to someone while enjoy a few dances without getting too consumed about what's going on in your life. It could also mean to lift a heavier weight that you normally would, while knowing that you're going to fuel your body before and after the training session. It could also mean investing in your personal growth, investing in help. That's an incredible achievement. Allowing someone to support you, moving through vulnerability. That's priceless, absolutely priceless. Step number 3, educate yourself. Learn about the science behind gaining weight or restoring weight and recovering from hypothalamic amenorrhea. Understanding how these changes support your body can really allow you to let go of fears and uncertainties. Sometimes going back to a biology class can be very useful. And I was having this conversation with the clients yesterday, and we were discussing cervical mucus and discharges. And she was so upset because she wouldn't see as many as she wanted to. And then I thought, what are discharges for you? What is cervical mucus? And she started telling me about, the fluids that our body get rid of during ovulation. And I said, well, yeah, if you read a textbook, we're very, very close to the definition of a discharge. But the reality is that cervical mucus it's your body talking to you. It's your body giving you information on how you're treating it. How wonderful is that? Step number 4, self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself during this journey. Replace self-criticism with self-compassion. Treat yourself as if you were your best friend. On the period comeback protocol, week 3, we talk a lot about self-compassion. I also ask you to do some homework in regards to self-compassion, because most of the women that decide to join the protocol, They've heard the terms of compassion. They have no idea how to apply it. And it's so very powerful. Step number 5, very similar to what we spoke about before. Challenge the negative thoughts. Challenge them with evidence-based reasoning. Ask yourself if these thoughts are based on facts, on fears. Is my fear real? Is that really going to happen? Invitation number 6, gradual changes. Make changes gradually. You don't have to go all in if you're not ready for it. Slowly introduce new habits. Slowly increase the food intake. Slowly let go of your exercise routine. Slowly welcome in affirmations or affirmations or gratitude or EFT, which is the tapping, which I'm a big fan of. Slowly introduce all of that. That can help you mind the body adapt more comfortably. When I start working with women, I reassure them and let them know that they don't have to do everything all at once. They can really follow their pace. They don't have to fix themselves within 3 months. They can take their time. Okay? And slow and steady in recovery is definitely the way to go. And I always make the example that if you sit in your couch and you eat all the junk food, and you don't move your body for like a couple of months, yeah, chances are that you're going to get your period back. But what's going to happen afterwards? Sorry. Invitation number 7, celebrate the small win. Celebrate every positive step that you take. I had a powerful, powerful call this morning with a fantastic woman that she's part of the period comeback protocol. And she actually told me, Claudia, I hate my body. I hate the way that it looks right now. And then we started shifting the conversation towards celebrating also her body. And I asked her, so what are you proud of? Is your body making you proud? And she came up with a list and she said, yes, there is this, and there is that, and there is also this. And she went on and on and on. I had to stop her. And then I asked her, how often during any given day, in the middle of the week, you spend the time celebrating your body, celebrating these little wins that you have just shared with me? And she said, never. This is my first time. And in exchange, how often do you talk negatively towards your body? And her answer was daily, sometimes multiple times a day. Can you see the imbalance there? That the seesaw will never be balanced in this way. And that's also something that I really support women with, so they can let go of the past fears and of all the junk that they don't need to bring with them in the future. Step number 9, visualize success. Imagine the positive outcomes of your journey. Instead of always getting stuck with the worst case scenario, just also focus on the best case scenario. Play around with both and look at all of this with curiosity instead of judgment. Visualization can boost motivation, but can also allow your brain to actually see what's going to happen in the future. And then obviously, last but not least, seek help. Allow someone to help you. No one has ever told you that you have to power through this all by yourself. I have this incredible person, 2 actually, 3 in total in the last week. They joined the community and the period comeback protocol. All the 3 of them, they have been stuck in this limbo for 2 years without getting any support. And they have been banging the head against the wall thinking, I can do it on my own. I can absolutely do it on my own. And that's the story that they told themselves. And after 2 years, they came to me completely exasperated, exhausted, without any trust. And when they asked me, can you help me? I said, of course, there is so much that you can do. Problem is that you have been spinning around the same wheel for the past 2 years, and you didn't have another person looking at the life that you are living. And now I can clearly see the picture. I can clearly see the missing pieces. So ask for support. Ask for someone to help you. And it can be a friend, it can be a supportive partner, it can be a professional, doesn't have to be me. It can be a group like the HA community. You decide. But allow people to lift you up, because you would do the same for other people. Thank you much. Thank you much. Thank you so much for being here with me today, or for watching this on replay. It has been an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you next time.